Well, good morning, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic with me, Mike Avery. Here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio, I am here once again to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. And I will tell you who's coming up on this show in the next few minutes. First of all, this is 9/11, a day that is, you think about 9/11, it's right, pretty momentous day for those of us who were around. Craig, good morning, buddy. How are you? Look forward to seeing you and Michelle next Wednesday night at the Lumberjack Restaurant. Cliff, good morning. Tommy, always a pleasure. Fishing with Lance. Where are you fishing? Are you fishing the bay or are you fishing Lake Erie? Hey, Matt, I was talking to Scott. He said you guys are going to show up next week. I look forward to that. Also, he told me some interesting stories about your recent hunting adventures in the UP. Very, very interesting. Bruce, good morning. Ross, always a pleasure, buddy. How are you? Ross, are you joining us for Wednesday Night Live next week at the Lumberjack? I certainly hope so. Jerry, nice to have you along with us. Johnny Bowler, big day for you, Johnny, the opening day of Michigan's bear season. How many hunters do you have? And good luck to you and all of them. Tim, good morning. John, I know you're excited for your bear season. Captain Jim, your season doesn't start right away, right? It's a little bit off. What do you mean you're going to be out of town? It's not going to be a Wednesday Night Live at the Lumberjack without you, Ross. Whatever those plans are, you should change them. You have 3 hunters. Johnny, good luck to them all. And again, okay, on the bay. Don't you go up in my skinny water. Well, you're allowed, Craig. You and Lance are allowed. It's okay. You have to pay a toll, but it is allowed. Jim's season starts Saturday. Johnny says, hopefully all 3 shoot today so you can start over. Wouldn't that be nice to have 3 bears down opening day? Have fun, Johnny. Good luck. I know you've been working your rear end off. So hopefully they all score. Cliff says it was a nice day for the Fred Bear statue unveiling. Sorry I couldn't find you in the crowd. It would have been nice to meet you in person. Cliff, it would have been. That was a very cool day. I did not expect such a big crowd. I mean, there was 2,000 people there, maybe 2,500 people there. I didn't know it was going to be such a big deal. I didn't not that it would have mattered, but I didn't let any of the powers that be know that I was going to be there. So I was in the masses out there with you, Cliff. And it was pretty interesting. I'll talk a lot more about that maybe here on Behind the Mic and certainly in the first segment of this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. Amy says, good luck, Johnny Bowler. Mike Avery says, good luck, Johnny Bowler. Yeah, that was quite a thing. And the video that I posted of his unveiling, now people use this term all the time. It went viral. I don't think I've ever had anything go viral before until this, for some reason. My video of Fred Bear's statue unveiling, I think it kind of went viral. 1.8 million views, 1.8 million views, 26,000 likes, 1,000 comments, 2,500 shares. That's pretty cool. Of course, the problem with that is when you reach that many people, you end up reaching some idiots too. And I say that with all due respect. Mike Green, good morning, Mike. Sportsman's Quest Outdoors checking in from a tree in Baraga. How cool is that, Mike? Good luck to you. I can't wait to see. I'm not famous. Fred Bear's famous. And of course, Nugent was there, which didn't hurt either. Johnny says, thank you, Amy Collins. Amy says, you're welcome. I posted, good morning, Richard. I just posted too. I don't know if you're on TikTok or not. And I'm kind of playing around the fringes of it. I I posted video of Nugent playing the Star Spangled Banner over on my TikTok channel feed, whatever it is, page, whatever it is, because it was pretty cool. Craig says, like the guy who asked who Fredbear was? Yeah. Or the guy, like the guy who said, you had one job. One job. You idiot, you had one job and you couldn't get the front of the Fredbear statue as it was unveiled. Another guy says, who in their right mind would record that video on their phone? You're never going to watch it again. How about the 1.8 million people who did watch it? You're more than welcome, John. Good morning, Scott. I didn't get my picture with Uncle Ted, and this is part of the thing. I didn't know there was going to be so many people there. I figured I could just walk up to Ted and show him and say, hey, let's recreate this picture from 1992. He was surrounded by state troopers, conservation officers, Grayling City Police. They had snipers on the rooftop across the street. I didn't expect that. So I did get to talk to him. And he said, hey, let's do a radio interview about this. And I didn't. He's not on the show this week, but he will be. Hey, Chris, it was great to see you at the Woods and Water show. I'm sorry I didn't make it back over to the booth to say hi, but it was really nice to see you, and I hope you had a good show. The weather for the Woods and Water show, I was down there Friday, and it was cool, and it was windy, but it wasn't hot, and it wasn't raining, so that's good, right? So when I got there, and there's like 2,000 people there, right? I'm looking at the setup thinking, okay, where am I going to get the best video of the unveiling? I didn't want to be up by the stage. I wanted to be over by the Fredbear statue. And I'm looking at that. And again, it's surrounded by people. I'm thinking, okay, I got to work my way over there. And so I can get video. Okay. The way the sun was, if I would have been around to the front, I would have been shooting right into the sun. Okay. I don't want to do that. But if I want to get the sun on the statue, I'm going to be looking at the back of Fred. I don't want that. So I kind of worked my way around to the side. This was nothing. Look, this ain't my first rodeo. I've been at things like this before. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to work my way around to the side of the statue. That way I can get at least the side of the statue. I can have sun on it. And that's the video that I posted. They got 1.8 million views. Am I going to do a Facebook Live from my bear hunt? No, I won't. But I will post some videos. I don't think Johnny's already gone. I don't think I have cell signal at my blind. If I have a signal, I will post something. And I will certainly post videos after the fact. But I don't plan on doing a Facebook. Got to work the lighting. Exactly. You got to work the lighting. And then like I was telling John here in the studio, when you have a video that reaches 1.8 million people, you end up getting comments from idiots. In fact, I'm not even going to go. Art, will you come in here and say hi? It wouldn't be a Behind the Mic without this guy right here.
Hi there.
Art Lewis.
I've come to stand next to this great influencer. 1.8 million views.
That's the first time I've ever had that happen, Art.
Wow.
And I think it was a combination of just the fact that so many people know Fredbear. You know, I mean, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So it was nice to be there and nice to have you in the studio. And I'm sorry you're not going to be able to join us next Wednesday night.
I am too, but I had it's amazing how many things I had that night. So
and that's it. That's just it. We could have done it tonight. But I'm not having a party on 9/11. I'm not going to do it.
I totally agreed with that decision.
Yeah. And so to move it back to next week, it puts us right into the hunting season. A lot of my friends like you can't make it, but we'll have a good time.
Yeah, you'll have a good time.
All right, Art. Always a pleasure, buddy.
Right.
You can hear Art on WSTW. And by the way, we're still taking reservations. 989-343-0892. 989-343-0892. We've still got room. It's a good thing that I'm tall. It is a good thing because I know how to work crowds. I mean, by meaning work crowds to move in a crowd and get in the best position for video. And that comes from years and years of working in television news. Although when you have a TV camera, the crowd's kind of part for you. When you're in an event like this and you're shooting with your cell phone, you're one of 2,000 people shooting with your cell phone. But I still think I got some nice video. I mean, I was right there. I got the side of it. I didn't get the front because I didn't want to be looking into the sun. I didn't get the back, even though it would have been the sun on the statue. I don't want the back of the statue. But I think it worked out pretty good. Brad, good morning. I don't think so, Craig. Jim's going to be there on the 18th. I look forward to seeing you. Scott Hill fogged in at work. John says he loves fall turkey hunting. Barry's headed back for surgery. Good luck on that. Good morning, George. Michael, good morning. ML Chambers, hurricane, worried about South Florida, saying prayers. Amen to that. Barry, good luck on your bear hunt. Thank you. I appreciate that. My bear hunt doesn't start until the 25th. Morning, Jim. John, 15 to 20 yards from the stand, going to try to take the bear with your hood. I will tell you this, John Callison. I think the best way to hunt bears over bait is with a bow. Every bear I've ever killed has been over bait with a bow. I'm going to hunt this year with my Brenton 350 Legend for a whole different reason. But I think bear hunting over bait is perfect for bow hunting. And if you put a good shot on a bear, you will watch it die. You will hear it die. I mean, you get a good double lung shot with a broadhead on a bear, and he's going to run 20 yards and die. So good luck to you, John. Tom checking in from the Thumb. Ruben, good morning. How are things in Colorado? Roy is so ready for fall walleye fishing. Mad Jack, good morning. Just watched the news about 9/11. My daughter looking back. Yeah, I couldn't have a celebration tonight. Sent you a question on the ask about the app. No, I did not get an answer on that yet. I did not. Let me tell you, before I run out of time here, who's coming up on this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show, because a couple of your comments led into this, and then we'll pick up your questions here again. Speaking of fall walleye, my first guest this week is a guy who reached out to me last Wednesday night on Wednesday Night Live. He said, well, he didn't reach out to me. He just made a comment. He said that he was looking forward to the fall walleye season of casting for walleye. Got my attention. Anyway, his name is Jim Hoppy, and he's going to join me on this week's radio show to talk about casting for fall walleye. I love this topic because you don't need a boat to catch walleye in the fall. Then Ken Dalton of the Michigan Pheasant Hunting Initiative, they call him Mr. Pheasant. In our second hour, Rob Miller talks about using tracking dogs to recover fatally wounded whitetails. Now, we're doing that because, deer season basically starts this weekend with the youth hunt and the Liberty hunt. Then Chad Fedowa of the DNR on our Michigan elk hunt. This week's Ask Avery question, still working on it, waiting for a couple answers. I might have to tap dance if I don't get those in. And in hour number 3, we're talking about bear hunting with hounds with Jared Gash of Poor Boys Guide Service. And of course, we wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. Okay, let me go back to some of your questions. Pocono Outdoors guy, good morning. How are you? Don't recognize that name. Welcome. Glad to have you along with us. Hunter Joe says, when are you going to do your rain dance on a live feed? It is dry. Indeed, it is dry. It is dry. Jordan, any word on your quest to become a commissioner on the Natural Resources Commission? You have a good day as well, buddy. Okay, so some of my notes for this morning. Here we go. Hunting season is here now. The youth season starts this weekend. The Liberty season starts this weekend. Bear season is open. Small game season opens this weekend. Early goose is open. Teal season's open. I mean, it's on. Here we go. I want to see your pictures of your outdoor adventures. Send them to me, please, in an email, not a Facebook post, not a social media or Facebook private message. I used to be able to share those directly. Facebook powers that be in their infinite wisdom have changed that, and it's really hard. So the best way to get your pictures to me is to send me an email, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. That's Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. And I would love to share your pictures with the world. I can't guarantee they're going to get 1 million views or 2 million views like the Fred Bear statue unveiling did, John, who is it? You're walking out of here, so it's Charlie this morning. All right, Jonathan, I appreciate that. Tommy says, good interview, Jordan Hoover on the Michigan Outdoors Show. I don't think I saw that, but Jordan always does a great job. Butch, good morning. How are you? Oh, here's an interesting little tidbit. You know how I am with folklore and the old sayings and the old saying about the first cicadas buzzing and the first frost. The old saying is it'll be 6 weeks from the time you hear the first cicada buzz until the first frost. I have kept track of that over the years. I haven't found it to be 6 weeks. I found it to be more like 8 weeks or sometimes 10 weeks. But it does seem to be true that the earlier the cicadas buzz, the earlier we get our first frost. I heard from Rick Wakowiak. Now, I don't know exactly where Rick is. I think he's up Grayling, Gaylord area. I don't know for sure. I don't think we've ever had that conversation. But he said he noted when the first cicada buzzed at his house, and it was 6 weeks to the day. Now, they didn't get a frost at his house, but they got a frost like a mile from his house. It was 6 weeks to the day from the time the first cicada buzzed. So how cool is that? And Rick, thanks for letting me know about that. Okay, I talked about the Fred Bear statue, the unveiling. That was last Saturday in Grayling. There was like 2,000 people there, 2,500 people there. I mean, it was huge. I posted video. It got 1.8 million views of the statue unveiling, 1,000 comments, including some really interesting comments like, who's Fred Bear? And it made me, and I'll talk more about this here in the radio show coming up, but it made me realize the disconnect in our world today. People are saying, who's Fred Bear? I'll talk more about that. Our Wednesday night live next Wednesday night at the Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch. We still have some openings. Like I was telling Art here and Ross Elliott, my good friend, a lot of our normal, none of my friends are normal. A lot of our usual guests on that can't make it because of scheduling conflicts and because of the date, 9/18 instead of 9/11 today. 989-343-0892. 989-343-0892 for reservations. If nobody picks up the phone, if you call right now, nobody's going to pick up the phone. Let it ring and let it ring and let it ring. Eventually, a machine will pick it up. Tell them who you are, how many people in your party, and a phone number so we can confirm. Make your reservations for 6:30 or so, and we will go live at 7 o'clock. We've got a lot of friends joining us. It's going to be a great event. Who's joining us? Brad Dupuis, Mr. Anglerquest is joining us. The Rec Broadhead guys are joining us. Andy Weiss of Truck Trolley is going to join us. Rich Grazan and his wife of Killer Food Plots will be there. Am I leaving anybody out? I hope not. We've got some Michigan brand products to give away. We've got $100 off on a truck trolley we're going to give off. We got a $100 gift certificate from Rapid River Knives to give away. How cool is that? We will have some Rec Broadheads as well. Brad Dupuis, Mr. Anglerquest, is giving away a 2025 Pro Troll. So a lot of cool things there. 989-343-0892 for reservations. 989-343-0892. Butch says, doing good. Waiting for opening day. Tired of looking at 9 feet of corn. Time for a tree stand. 9 feet tall. But if you hunt the edges of those cornfields, isn't that a cool spot to be, in a tree stand on the edge of a cornfield going into the woods? Very cool. Deb, good morning. How are you? Hey, Charlie.
Good morning to you, sir.
Charlie's my guy this morning. Charlie Rude.
2 minutes.
2 minutes, he says. The coffee is tasting outstanding this morning. Okay. My website is MikeAveryOutdoors.com. I've mentioned my email, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Send me your pictures. Send me your questions for the Ask Avery segment. I'd love to hear from you. I do live streams every week. This one, Behind the Mic, and every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock for Wednesday Night Live. And next Wednesday night on the 18th, we will be live at the Lumberjack Restaurant. Jerry, good morning. How are you? Awesome, especially when they walk right below you. Isn't that cool? Okay, one final thing. There's Jim right there. Hey, Jim, I was just telling how you reached out on Wednesday Night Live last week, and you're going to be on the radio show this week. I wondered if anybody would even pick that up. You're full of it. If Brad's giving away a Pro Troll to the Lumberjack, everybody will be there. Scott reminded me of one thing. A good friend of the show, a good friend of mine, Jason Karstens, who was a firefighter in the Sioux. He had a guide service out of the Sioux. He was part of the Angler Quest team. Great family guy. He is excited because he was going on an elk hunt in Colorado, and it was a situation where he could take his family along with him. I heard from Jason's dad the other night. Jason passed away on this hunt. It looks like it was from a heart attack. Um, Tragic. Now you could look at it like saying, well, he died doing something he loved, but he was too young. His family was there with him. He's still got young girls at home, a wife at home. So my prayers are with the Karstens family. On a lighter note, I got my truck wrapped this week. It looks excellent. Thank you, ImageWorks. You guys did a great job, and I appreciate that very much. Blast off. Okay. So I got to switch my focus from this mic, my social media mic, to this mic, my official broadcast microphone. To do the first segment of the radio show, I will talk about many of the same topics we've already discussed here. You are more than welcome to stick around and listen. And I will be back again tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. John, good morning. How you doing, buddy? Dale. All right, my friends, I got to go. Have a good day. Thanks for joining me on Behind the Mic. I hope you can join me tonight for Wednesday Night Live. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show here on the Outdoor Magazine radio network on more than 30 radio stations across the great state of Michigan. And so glad to have you along with us as we jump into it. Here we go. Here we go. The youth hunt is this weekend. The Liberty hunt is this weekend. Bear season is open. Small game season opens. The early goose season is open. Teal season is open. Can we say that the fall hunting seasons are rocking now? Now, it's not, right? It's not October 1st. It's not the general opening day of bow season, but the fall hunting seasons are here in the great state of Michigan. How cool is that? Good luck on your hunts. Good luck on your hunting adventures, your experiences, your activities. When I say good luck, yeah, if you can harvest something, wouldn't that be great? But if you don't let that diminish the experience. The experience is the experience. What do I mean by that? I mean, it's the experience of getting out there on the water, in the woods. That's the experience. If you take something, it's just a bonus. If you do take something and you want to share it with the world, please send it to me, send a picture to me or video in an email, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. Don't send it to me, please, on a Facebook message because I can't post it. Send me an email, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. If you have a kid involved in that post, please put the hashtag forward fuels traditions, and if you don't hashtag it, I will. You could win a $50 gift card to the Forward convenience stores. Now, let's talk a little bit about pictures. And this is something that I have been saying for the last several years. The Michigan Wildlife Council is now jumping on this as well. In today's world, we need to be cognizant and aware of how we portray ourselves. Now, you and I both know that as hunters and anglers and shooters and trappers, we are stewards of the resource. We are the people who pay for conservation. We are the ultimate conservationists. But we need to let the world know that, because in today's world where social media is so accessible to everybody, it's no longer like reaching into your wallet and bringing out a picture of your buck and showing your buddy, right? That's a one-to-one interaction. In today's world, how do we share pictures? We post them on our social media feeds. When you do that, that content, that picture becomes available to everybody. And you might say, well, no. It's only my buddies who are on my Facebook page. Yeah, but it's available to anybody. And if the wrong person shares it, it takes off and then the wrong people see it and they don't get it. So my plea, it's my suggestion is, in today's world, and I'm not bowing down to the antis here, okay? Don't take it this way, because I will never bow down to the antis. Ever. But the vast majority of people out there in Michigan today, the non-hunters, not the antis, but the non-hunters, and they see how we post things, it creates an image, it sends a message. So please be aware when you take your pictures that a lot of people, and you post them. If you're not going to post them, okay, but you're going to post them. When you do that, please be aware of what you're showing. By that, I mean, if it's a waterfall picture and you got some blood on the animal, the bird, and you're going to just wipe it off, right? If it's a big game picture, if it's a bear or if it's a deer, will you please, 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 please take 3 seconds and put the animal's tongue back in the mouth? I have seen so many pictures, beautiful pictures. A smiling person sitting over a beautiful deer with a wonderful background, a lot of colors, and the deer's tongue or the bear's tongue is hanging out the side of its mouth. It looks like a cartoon character, and it makes us look like bloodthirsty idiots. Take the tongue and push it back in the animal's mouth, please. It's not a big request, but it makes a big impact. And again, because in today's world, we reach so many people on social media. Speaking of that, last weekend, I had the wonderful experience of being in Grayling for the unveiling of the Fred Bear statue. I didn't know what a big deal this was going to be. I didn't know there was going to be so many people there. I didn't reach out to the powers that be and tell them I was going to be there ahead of time or anything like that. So I was right there with the rest of you out in the masses, right? Wonderful day, nice, cool day, kind of a windy day. The crowd was wonderful, great people. The Nuge was there. He did the Star Spangled Banner. He did the national anthem ahead of time. If you want to see that, go to my, believe it or not, my TikTok feed, because that's the only place I could put it. And I'm going to put it on Facebook too. It was cool, very cool. And then he did Fred Bear. How cool was that at the unveiling of the Fred Bear statue? Now, I wanted to get video of that unveiling. I get there. There's already like 1,500 people there. The crowd swelled to what, 2,000, 2,500. Now, this ain't my first rodeo, right? I know how to move around a crowd. And because I'm so tall, I get a little extra advantage. But the reason I know how to move in a crowd and look for the best video angles and the best light is I spent many, many years in television news. So I'm looking at that. I'm going, okay, am I concerned with the video from the stage? Nah, not really. What I want to get is the video of the unveiling of the statue. So I'm looking at that. It's on the other side of the crowd. I got to work my way over there. There's a fence surrounding the statue. It's covered in a black shroud when I get there. I'm looking at that going, okay, what is the best way to capture this? If I go around and get the front of the statue, I'm going to be looking directly into the sun. Well, listen, as a video guy, as a photo guy, I don't want that. The best light would be from the backside of the statue. I don't want that. I don't want the backside of Fred as they unveil it. So I settled on kind of on the side view, but I had to work my way in there. I had to kind of move around and kind of, I don't want to say sneak my way in there because at my size, you can't sneak your way into anything. But I moved around to the side. Okay. Best compromise. I'm right there. The statue's right in front of me. There's nobody between me and the statue. There's good light on it, but it's kind of the side of the statue. Okay. It's the best I can get. So I'm leading up to this. In today's world of social media, like I've never had anything reach the number of people as fast as the video I shot did. It got 1.8 million views in like 24 hours. 1,000 comments, 26,000 likes, 2,500 shares. So how cool is that? Now, when you start reaching that many people, you start reaching some real idiots as well. That's part of the deal, right? The more people you reach, the more idiots you're going to reach. So there was a lot of weird comments on this whole thing. Now, some of them were just ignorant, and I don't mean ignorant in a bad sense. I just mean they were uneducated. Like a lot of people saying, who's Fred Bear? And it got me thinking. In today's world, there is such a disconnect. You and I, Fred Bear, the father of modern day archery, Fred Bear, revered. I was blessed to have met the man. check out my video of Ted Nugent doing the Fred Bear song on YouTube. So I am keenly aware of who Fred Bear was. Most of you are keenly aware of who Fred Bear was, but I got a bunch of people saying, "Who's Fred Bear?" And some real nimrods, why are they unveiling a statue of Jed Clampett? Again, that's the disconnect I'm talking about. So I use that as an illustration of why we need to be careful what we put out there these days. But anyway, it was a wonderful event. It was very cool. I was glad to be part of it. I was glad to be able to document the event. I was glad to be able to share it with so many people. And if you haven't seen it, check out my Facebook page, check out my Instagram feed, or just go anywhere online and do a search, do a Google search for Fred Bear statue. And there was a bunch of people there shooting video, and it was a very, very cool event. Another cool event that's coming up on a smaller scale, probably here this Wednesday night coming up. We're going to do a Wednesday night live at the Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch. We still have some room. If you'd like to be there, I'd love to have you. I would love to see you, but you got to call for reservations. It's not going to cost you anything other than your meal. I'm not buying dinner for you, but the Lumberjack has great food. Call 989-343-0892 for reservations, or just do a search for a Lumberjack restaurant. If nobody answers the phone, let it continue to ring. A machine will eventually pick it up and give them your name, how many in your party, and give them a phone number so we can confirm your reservation. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, coming up on this week's Outdoor Magazine show, a guy who I first made contact with on last week's Wednesday Night Live, Jim Hoppy. He was talking about casting for fall walleye. That immediately got my attention. I love that. You don't have to have a boat to catch big walleye in the fall. Jim is going to talk about the subtleties, the nuances, and give some advice on how to do that. Then Ken Dalton of the Michigan Pheasant Hunting Initiative, talking about the fall pheasant season, some cool things they have going on. In our second hour, Rob Miller, the guy who, in my opinion, pioneered the use of tracking dogs to recover fatally wounded deer, talks about how to best use a tracking dog. And is it a cop-out? I don't think so. Chad Fedowa of the DNR on the Michigan elk season and the Michigan elk herd. And in hour number 3, we're talking about bear hunting with hounds, kind of a controversial topic, but I support those people completely. They have the right to do it. They are legal, so they have my support. With Jared Gash of Poor Boys Guide Service, and we wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. My name is Mike Avery. This show is called Outdoor Magazine. My website is MikeAveryOutdoors.com. My email address is Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. I would love to hear from you, and I'm glad you're here for this week's Outdoor Magazine. All right, my friends, have a great day on this anniversary of 9/11. That's why we didn't do the Wednesday Night Live at the Lumberjack tonight. I just can't have a celebration bringing people together, but we can celebrate next Wednesday night, 989-343-0892 for reservations. And I will be back tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. In the meantime, my friends, have a great